I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Karl Jobst. I still don't know after all these months. Jobst, right?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I don't know.
Yeah, you're meant to be the authority on these things. The reason I want to bring it up is obviously our reputation, mostly Jason's reputation, was as like people who defended Gerard beyond a reasonable doubt. At this point, his strongest case against Gerard is the fact that years went by without this thing donated, and Gerard's statement on why that has been inconsistent.
Even if they don't have him legally, they have him in the court of public opinion. Like, his reputation is tarnished.
And then we did a follow-up where I think we clarified our position, and I think people understood it better. But, I think we stood firm on a few things, which was like, there's still details here that you don't really know. And there's still like, it's not really proven that there was malicious intent to the withholding of those funds, which to me continues to be the central issue of it. And this guy, this like lawyer on YouTube, kind of smug sound, like he likes to talk like this when he's narrating his fucking lawyer videos.
And despite agreeing that Jobst's allegation of charity fraud is plausible here, I still have strong feelings about his sloppy research.
This guy Mooney, he put out a kind of a thing that was meant to be, I think, like a legal takedown of mostly Karl and to some degree Muda, like their videos about the whole issue, where he said some of what we said, and maybe he was focused on like, hey, these guys could be sued for defamation for this reason and that reason.
An uneducated allegation of serious criminal conduct pursuant to research that is no deeper on the legal side than the first page of Google. This allegation of embezzlement is both trouble and implausible. If a defamation lawsuit does arise from this debacle, I suspect that this allegation of embezzlement will take front and center stage.
And then, predictably, Karl's fans went after him really hard. And like a total pussy, the guy backed off so fast. He was like, yeah, you know what? I've really learned a lot about myself today. Thanks.
Well, this was after because Karl did it like a point by point takedown.
Yeah, but no, Mooney, he began an apology before that video even came out.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. There was like an initial wave of like, yeah, maybe I did jump in a little quick,
I see. So he was already kind of jumping before. Okay.
Yeah. And right. And then Karl came out with this point by point rebuttal, this hour and a half long thing or whatever it was. And the guy, like, without even watching the video, was like, I'm so sorry. The guy obviously doesn't want any heat off of this, which is strange because it's a heated topic. And I don't know, if you're going to step into the battle dome, like, you gotta show up with your armor.
I watched part of Karl's video because Karl's video came off as a little too pissy.
You might notice throughout this video that I seem a bit annoyed, maybe even angry. And the truth is, I am angry.
And I was kind of interested. I'm like, oh, so because the guy's a lawyer, so he was like talking about the legal definitions of things. And like Karl was like, well, of course I wasn't going to do legal definitions. I'm a YouTuber and I'm doing this for like entertainment. So it's like, I don't need to do that. It's like...
But when it comes to members of the public identifying and reporting illegal activities, I can be as simple as I want. I could give you the most basic bitch definition of fraud, and that's perfectly fine to communicate an idea.
His perspective is interesting. Like, I thought it added to the conversation.
What do we call that? The Jon Stewart gambit?
Yes.
Or I've heard it described... clown nose on, clown nose off, where you can make a very serious statement and then you can retreat back to like, well,
you're on CNN. The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you?
So his number one critique of this guy's video, I thought, was, and I think it's totally unfair, I have to say, he was like, all of your rebuttals and points are based on my video and the information I presented, but you should have learned about things I know that I've never described in public.
I have spent hundreds of hours researching the Completionist and his charity streams. It is simply impossible for me to put everything that I know into a YouTube video. It would be 50 hours long. A YouTube video is not evidence. Mooney's idea of weighing allegations against the evidence is just to watch a few YouTube videos. The best Mooney can say is that he has made inferences based on my YouTube videos, but he's still uninformed because he hasn't done independent research and thus cannot make any reasonable conclusions.
Yeah, he was like, of course, this is the only thing I described in the YouTube video. I'm making a YouTube video, so you only know the things that I tell you. And it's like, yeah?
Yeah.
So we're gonna take what you said and we're gonna talk about it with a legal perspective. That made total sense to me. I don't understand.
It continues to. So you're supposed to what? You're supposed to. I mean, he's responding to their videos, correct?
Yes.
Annoying behavior. To be like, no, you were. I've been pocketing information. It's like you can. I don't know. It's. I just think it's a manipulative tactic to be like, I'm always the smartest guy in the room because I haven't disclosed information I've discovered.
Yeah.
Like, and you should have done research and find out the things I found out.
Yeah, that's. I mean. I don't know. He's a YouTuber too, so it's like you can go in circles with this.
And not just that, but then he also like demeaned the entire. Karl did the entire like function of a YouTube video. He kind of like said throughout it like YouTube videos are useless or something. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is all this circus then? I don't know.
He can do both things. He can be an entertainer, but he's also like a hard-hitting journalist. But he's really just an entertainer, but he's a hard-hitting journalist. And it's like,
but don't you dare call him a journalist because he'll be like, no, I just want money, baby. I know that Gerard is obviously a lying scumbag, but
and I don't want to defend him.
He's a pathetic bitch.
What a pathetic bitch.
But just this idea that this Karl guy is like a bastion of virtue. Like I ain't seeing it.
I have learned enough about the situation to see that his behavior is abhorrent. I hate liars. I hate the fact that so many people feel like it's okay to be flagrantly dishonest to their fans. Gerard has a problem, and he needs to realize that what he's doing is not okay.
Yeah, I really didn't like his argumentation through at least the beginning of it. I did listen to the whole thing. There's some fascinating stuff towards the middle about other times that Gerard lied. Like what was one of them? Like how many years his mom actually had her affliction, and what age he was when she did.
When I was 15, when she was officially diagnosed, it took 5 years to get her diagnosed.
I was 14 years old. It was my first day of high school, and the doctor says, your mom has been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia.
When I was 10 years old, my mom got diagnosed with dementia. For those of you guys who don't know, when I was about 10 years old, I found out that my mom had dementia.
He'll lean any way the wind blows in order to make the story more interesting. It reminds me of like, I don't know, like there's certain politicians that you might be able to think of that, they'll kind of tell the same story over and over again. And then you're like, do they fucking believe this? Cause this is like disproven. He provided several examples like that where you're like, wow, like it was quite good. Actually, I would have liked to have seen that in an earlier video just to show that like the person we're dealing with, Gerard, is he's a storyteller. He's a fibber. He's he has like a self-perception that he does not mind playing with the truth on, Yeah. And then the other thing that Karl said at the beginning, which I don't know if you saw this piece, he was like I've been accused of doing this to make money. Which I'm like, you said you did this to make money.
I have Twitter screenshots.
But then he's like, but the truth is, if you knew a damn thing, I lost money on the Gerard deal. And then
horseshit.
What a bunch of bullshit. Because then he proceeds to be like, and the reason I lost the money. And seriously, what's with this fucking voice? But like, must we speak like an AI voice generator from Australia? Anyway, like what's with the sing-songy newscaster thing? Does he speak like this in real life? I don't think so, because on the recorded call he sounded a lot more like a normal human. But instead, he talks like this and like a normal human. Like, why are you doing that? Stop. You know, for 90 minutes, this dude's talking this way. No, he goes, there was something about like he had been sold the sponsorships in advance of any video he may have made. And then as a result of this one, you know, he wasn't able to have one of those sponsorships or something. There's somebody pulled out or something like that.
In November, I had 3 sponsors booked, and I released 3 videos, but only 2 of them were sponsored. This is because I actually cancelled one of the sponsors because I released my first open hand video without a sponsor in it. That sponsor money was already in my pocket. I had to proactively cancel it and forfeit the money I was already promised.
And I'm like, well, even still, like, you're not going to account for like the channel growth and like the added exposure and the Google Sense, you know, the Google AdSense revenue, and
everybody was talking about his video for like weeks. So
I lost money covering the open hand story.
There were lots of things I should mention that he said in this video that I agreed with. He was critical of Mooney for simply attributing motive instead of like responding to the facts of the matter. But a lot of times those facts of the matter were withheld or not fully described.
Yeah, because then Mooney didn't see he wasn't responding to like the Discord call that came out later too. So there was.
Oh, so I feel him. I've been.
There was more information. I understand. Yeah, I understand that completely. We were also doing that.
But yeah, I think that might have been a good thing to lead with is to, you know, like lay out the golf tournament shit, do everything he did, but also like give us some information about the extent to which this guy spins tails. That was helpful and entertaining, I have to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he spent too much of the beginning of that video just being pissy.
Yeah.
So
I'm mad that somebody disagrees.
Which isn't my favorite sort of an entertainment, but
yeah. Well, sorry. Sometimes I do that.
Well, I mean, when you do it, it's okay.
When I do it, it's fine.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.